Today we're going to do some more min-maxing by looking at the tactical reload speeds in Apex. The overall fastest reload speed in the game is a single P2020. There are a few weapons in the game that list the same speed for their full reload and tactical. The wingman animation is exactly the same. On the P2020 the slide moves back, but it takes the same amount of time. The Nemesis and the Havoc are also listed to have the exact same reload speed, whether it's tactical or full reload. I would say the Havoc looks the same, but the Nemesis definitely has a couple frames different when it's ejecting the cartridge. Moving on to the top 4 fastest tactical reloads, it goes to the Alternator, the Car, the RE45, and the Volt. The Volt is listed as the fastest, but the RE45 and the Car get back to ADS a little more quickly in this test. I matched them up to start the reload animation when I could see the ultimate ability icon show up from ADS. So the ADS speed might play into this a little bit. Moving on to the longest reloads, the Charge Rifle, Spitfire, Kraber, and Havoc have the longest tactical reloads. The reload speed between tactical and full for the Kraber is listed to be quite a bit different, but it looks the same to me. As a Charge Rifle enjoyer, I can definitely say that the tactical reload is a lot faster, but you get so much bang for your buck out of a single shot with the Charge Rifle, so sometimes it's worth taking that last shot. Whereas the Spitfire has a pretty big advantage to a tactical reload. And that brings us to the boosted loader, which can currently go on the Wingman, the EVA 8, and the Triple Take, with the Triple Take easily getting the biggest boost between a boosted loader, tactical reload, and a full reload. Next, we'll look at each class of weapon. For the sniper rifles, they all have a similar difference between a tactical and a full reload, with the tactical giving you 1 round earlier than a full reload. Those will all be situational, whether or not you need to take that last shot out of the magazine. Next up, a tactical reload on a Rampage will allow you to fire off 5 rounds before you get 1 off in a full reload. A tactical reload on the Devotion is just about the same amount of time as the windup, so that feels pretty good. Next, let's take a look at one of the biggest differences between weapons in the same class, a tactical reload on a G7 versus a full reload on a Triple Take. I think this shows how tactical reload could make a pretty big swing in damage output, but in the end it is all situational. Next up is the Peacekeeper, which would be my nomination for the most frustrating reload in the game. And that is because there will be times where you switch away from the Peacekeeper in the middle of a reload, and when you switch back, it has to finish the lever action animation. The R301 is the assault rifle that benefits most from a tactical reload, and with such a high fire rate, you can snap off 10 rounds before you get done with a full reload. The Prowler benefits the most from a tactical reload among SMGs, but that last 5-round burst can do 75 damage to the body, which can be more than enough to secure a knock. So again, this will be all situational. And finally, among pistols, the Akimbo P2020s benefit the most from a tactical reload, giving you enough time for 5 bullets, and with hammer points equipped, that is exactly enough to get a knock on flesh. The next point will be true for all shotguns. A better shotgun bolt will make your tactical reloads more effective since it increases the fire rate. For the Akimbo Mozambique specifically, you will register 1 more hit, but this video is not about registering hits, we're not going to talk about that. And while we're watching the side-by-side for the care package R99, I thought I would plug my next idea, which is a hipfire tier list. So if you have any ideas for which weapons have the best hipfire, leave that in the comments. And this would also be a good time to mention that the reasons for missing out on a tactical reload is often because you missed your shots and you don't get the chance to tactical reload because you need to use all the rounds in the clip to get that first knock. You can see here with the care package R99, a tactical reload saves you enough time to knock 2 opponents instead of only 1. So no matter what skill level you're at, if you're facing someone else with a similar skill level, those are the kind of small margins that make the difference between life and death. And this is all to say that, of course, switching weapons will be faster than a tactical reload, unless you're switching to an empty weapon. I always get a warm, fuzzy feeling from having a stowed weapon with a lot of ammo left in the magazine, and that's all made possible by higher accuracy and higher capacity magazines. I understand these are stationary dummies, but this is just to illustrate the point that no reloads is better than any reloads. And I thought I'd mention a couple things at the end here. In Apex, your weapons do not retain an extra round in the chamber when you tactical reload. If anything, I think this makes the game a little more consistent, so I don't mind missing out on some realism or rationality for consistency. The L-Star might feel like it has a long reload time, but it actually sits pretty quick on the list in between the Alternator and the Prowler. The Mastiff and the 30-30 both reload single rounds. The Mastiff has a slightly longer full reload animation where you reach over the top of the weapon with a round in your hand to load it in the side chamber. After loading the first 3 rounds into a 30-30, you get a 20% reload speed increase. The Bocek has Marksman's tempo built into it, which increases your fire rate, which is kind of like increasing the reload speed. And last but not least, the reload button on the Bocek will unlock your arrow so you can hold on to your precious ammo instead of letting one fly after you have fully drawn the bow. Alright, these are my favorite kind of videos to make, so thank you for watching all the way to the end. I do have all of this information in a spreadsheet if you're interested. To be honest, this is pretty bad timing for a video like this since Season 23 is right around the corner and they could patch anything regarding reload speeds, so maybe I'll just make a small update if they patch anything. I'm really excited for a new season, so I will see you out there.